Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review number 274. I am the moderator, Virtue, being joined by this week's elite panel of the review, Aaron Rift, and his saxophone is in the house, and he is in California right now. Jeff Meacham is back. The reliable one, Walter Cruz, is here, and Mike is back this evening. We have a 5-person panel with some more hot topics for this week in the world of professional wrestling. Gentlemen, what's going on? Jeff Meacham, what's up?
Aaron brought the rain to California. We hate him for it, but we love him everywhere else. It is what it is. The rain is literally starting to hit the house right now, so hopefully the review goes quick. But me and Walter on, probably not. So we'll see. But lots to talk about. We had the thumbnail we had, and apparently the Rock we all wanted is back, but maybe not the way we wanted it. We'll talk more about it. I'm excited.
Stay tuned. Yeah, that'll be our main topic, obviously, the Rock and the Bloodline. Mike, what's up?
Nothing. Thanks for having me on. Pleasure. Can't wait to talk about the Rock and Roman because I'm probably in the minority of the group on where I stand on it. So excited to share my feelings.
Oh, I'm excited. Everybody saw what happened last week, so I don't know who's going to say what and how. I don't even know what I'm going to say, but stay tuned for later on that discussion, NoDQ Galaxy. It's going to get good. Walter, what's up?
Nothing much. Thanks for having me. Always good to be seen and good to see people. So I'm ready to get into it. Yeah, me and Jeff on the same stream might go along. So let's just jump right into what we get.
All right, well, stay tuned, and we'll be back to you. And Aaron Rift, what's going on? How is that saxophone coming along? I know you just picked it up by heading out that way, but have you practiced it all the last day or two?
I've tried. Not so good, but I am going to attempt at some point to play Cult of Personality. It might be the worst sounding performance you've ever heard in your life, but I'm working on it, and it is 5 o'clock here in not so sunny California. Go figure. The one time I'm in town, it's raining, but hey, that's life. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. Shout out to the 90s guy. He sent in $5. Thank you for that. He says, heading to WrestleMania 40 from Australia. Will there be a no DQ meetup in Philly? Keen to come. Say good day to you all. I think Big G is going to WrestleMania, so contact him. If anybody's going to do a no DQ meetup, it'll be Big G on behalf of the site. I will not be there, unfortunately.
I'm going to meet with Big G, so maybe, contact us and we'll do something.
All right, well, maybe Walter and Big G can set up some kind of meetup in Philadelphia, maybe get some Philly cheesesteaks and have a good time before WrestleMania, maybe even make a weekend out of it. But I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about everything that's going on. WrestleMania coming up soon, Elimination Chamber in Australia right around the corner. So exciting time for wrestling, and I'm very interested to hear what everybody has to say. I'm curious as to what Mike is going to say. We know Virtue's take on The Rock in general, so it should be a fun show. Last week was a lot of fun, and this should be no exception. Let's get going.
The first topic. So although some of this could overlap with The Rock and Roman Reigns possibly teaming up for WrestleMania, we're still going to be talking about that whole thing, the Bloodline, in our main event. But this question I posed to the NoDQ Galaxy in the chat and every panel member: does every WrestleMania main event need to be a title match or have simply a winner of a Royal Rumble match in it? Now, we know whether they pivot it or not, Cody Rhodes will take his opportunity and challenge Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania, which we would assume is night 2. But there's 2 nights now, and the diehard marks not only booted Dwayne off the night 2 main event, they want to boot him off the potential night 1 main event that he might get if this tag match happens or whatever. And I've seen different things about like Io Sky and Bayley maybe headlining night 1. Look, I'm all for the women getting that opportunity. They've had a couple main events at WrestleMania already, right? So it's not like history needs to be made. I got to get everyone's take here before I kind of give my point on this. So Jeff Meacham, I'm going to start with you. Over the years, there's been main events that haven't been anything related to the title match or the winner of the Rumble.
First one.
With two nights, it's more likely to have one of them not be going forward. So what's your take on this? Because there are fans passionate up. Well, what's the point of the Royal Rumble? There's a men's and a women's now. Those should be the 2-night headlines. Okay, I get it, but it's still a business. And WWE does things their own way. So I'm going to start with you, Jeff.
So, Aaron, make sure you're monitoring the chat room because JJ is going to get pissed at me for this one. Tell you that right now. WrestleMania is about a story. As much as it's a match between a party of 2, party of 4, whatever, it's still about story. WrestleMania, the first main event was Hogan and Mr. T versus Piper and Orndorff. Hogan was the champion, but it wasn't just about the title. It was about the bitter feud that resulted from Roddy Piper attacking Cyndi Lauper. That's what WrestleMania was built around in 1985. So I don't think it has to be a title match. I definitely don't think it has to be the Rumble winner in the main event. As intrigued as I've been with the slow burn of Bayley leaving Damage Control and where everybody was going to stand, that is not the main event, folks. It's just not. I love Bayley. I've loved the Damage Control thing, but that's not a main event for WrestleMania. It's a main event for Backlash. It's a main event for maybe even, like Money in the Bank or something. It's not a Money in the Bank match, obviously, but for a big 4, that's a hard sell for me at the end of the day. And that's not a knock on just Bayley or Io. It's a knock on the story being the level of the Bloodline, Cody, Seth, that type of story. WrestleMania for me is always the story. And that story's not strong enough, whether she won the Royal Rumble or not. And good for Bayley for winning the Royal Rumble. She definitely has cemented her place in. I mean, she needs to be in that echelon of history, but she's not. She doesn't need to be in the main event. When you've got The Rock here, when you've got Cody's story, that God damn it, word with Cody, my goodness. When you've got all these key players in position, you need to go with what story is going to be the most intriguing, unfortunately. And unfortunately for Bayley and Io, that's not them.
Yeah, and like what these Cody fans need to realize, if he has night 2 main event with Roman, if this tag match does happen, Cody's going to make history along with Seth Rollins and Roman in wrestling 2 nights, being the first 3 to wrestle 2 nights. Like, cherish that moment. Like, and that's going to, whatever happens in that match, if it happens, we got to still see how they play this off. That could lead to, like, wow, I can't wait for night 2. How many times recently has night 1 been so good and night 2 kind of feels a disappointment? This year, they have the chance to end night 1 to make people even more excited about night 2 than ever before. If they do have Cody finish the story, I mean, yes, they could go the other way and really screw the fans and keep the Bloodline together stronger, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I mean, it's crazy how the fans they want, and they're getting stuff, and then I want more. Well,
and that's fine, but the 70,000 people in Philadelphia aren't Veruca Salt, and this isn't Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. You sometimes you just take what you get, and if it's great, then shut up about it because you complain for no friggin' reason.
All right, well, thank you, Jeff. Mike, what do you have to say on this matter?
I don't think it has to be a title match in the main event, but like Jeff said, I think if it's a story I don't think you can just randomly put Otis versus one of the Vikings as a WrestleMania main eventer, because that's everybody's going to leave that. And I know that you guys aren't talking about a match such as that, but I think it would diminish the Royal Rumble a little bit if the winner of the Royal Rumble challenges and that match isn't the main event in one of the 2 nights of WrestleMania, because then it's like, well, what prestige is involved in winning the Royal Rumble? So I don't think it has to be a championship match, but there has to be something built up that people want to see. Like, let's say, for instance, the Undertaker, if he was coming back, and Undertaker Lesnar, and there was a buzz for like 6 weeks leading into it. Oh, people really want to see it. Boom. Okay, make that the main, one of the 2 nights main event. There'd be no title, and it's nothing to do with Royal Rumble. I think people could go for something like that, and that was fictitious. I'm not saying that's happening at WrestleMania 40, so don't anybody get all paranoid that I'm thinking Lesnar and Undertaker should headline one of the 2 nights this year.
Send all hate mail to Mike.
So, but yeah, so if the story is built up and presented, then no, I don't think it has to have anything to do with Royal Rumble or a title, but it better be a pretty good storyline. Otherwise, I think Royal Rumble is diminished.
All right. Hey, Jeff, I have a question for you because I can't remember. Michaels and Taker, did one of their 2 matches close the show?
26 when Sean Spears on the line, but
was that a Royal Rumble scenario, title scenario? No,
it wasn't it wasn't a Rumble winner, but they definitely started building it because Sean was so adamant about having to win the Rumble because Taker was the world champion, and because he didn't win the Rumble, he cost Taker at Chamber, and off we went.
Yeah, but that proves this whole scenario, right? I mean, that's a big time, all-time match right there,
and it's a story.
Yeah,
Sean's career versus the streak. It's a story.
Yeah, they built it up. I mean, so I have no problem with that.
Right.
But just throwing in a random match just so
no. But like the thing is, if we got to see what the night 1 main event will be, but if it is Rock and Roman teaming up against, say, Cody and Seth, that's not a random match. They started this at the press conference. It leads to this whole Cody getting the shot at Roman night 2. And the fans need to realize this sets up their boy for like even better. I mean, they're literally showcasing Cody the whole weekend by doing this.
Yes.
And I don't know. All right, Walter, go ahead.
All right. So if Triple H versus Chris Jericho has taught us anything, you don't have to force the main event for the title to be the main event. Think about WrestleMania 18. What was the real main event to everybody?
Point.
Yep.
That was The Rock versus Hogan.
Yes.
Everybody crapped on Jericho versus Triple H, and they forced that as the main event just because Triple H was the winner of the Rumble. So look at the streak. The streak in and of itself became its own sort of main event. So you don't necessarily have to force that to be the main event. The Rumble person can be on the card. There's such thing as cool down matches. You can put the title match somewhere in there. The Royal Rumble winner can get the title match, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the main event. At the end of the day, this is called the wrestling business. It's about drawing money. Whatever the biggest draw, whatever's going to make the company the biggest amount of money is what should be the main event. That should go on last. It's all about moolah. At the end of the day, it's all about money. It's about the green, whatever you want to call it. That's what it's really about. Whatever has the biggest drawing power, whoever has the biggest superstars in the match, that's your main event. I mean, the first WrestleMania was more about the celebrities and that tag title than anything else, because Vince needed it to succeed in order for us to get to where we are now. Had he not had all those celebrities and everything, who knows what the wrestling business would be right now. So you don't have to force the main event down our throats from the Rumble winner or the titles, because like I just said, look at WrestleMania 18. That real main event was Hogan versus Rock. It wasn't Jericho and Triple H. Everybody shitted on that match after that happened.
Yep.
Great points, Walter. All right, Aaron. By the way, go to NoDQ.com's opinion section. Tito, I believe, has an article or two about this whole stuff from over the weekend. Go read those and go leave comments, and he'll interact with you over there.
Yes. Weren't people like just royally pissed off that the Kevin Owens show, which turned into a match with Stone Cold, was main eventing over Ronda Charlotte because of how big Ronda and Charlotte was supposed to be, and people were just like almost having a wet dream after that match, like, we got Stone Cold back, and it's like, see,
another great point.
Shut the hell up,
Great point. And Charlotte and Rhea, they had a great match, and could that have obviously headlined over the tag title match last year? Yeah, I get it, but they did let the women main event of WrestleMania before. Twice, actually, if you count the night one with Sasha and Bianca. So it's not like it's never happened, and when the situation is right, it will happen again.
And versus being at Mania last year, the Bloodline versus Sami and Kevin was the right way to go. Oh my God, was the crowd just so I was a mess, but the whole crowd was so emotional. It's beautiful.
Yep. And again, nothing against Io Sky is the champion and Bailey. Yeah. Like if they are going to use a women's title match to headline night one, Rhea's been the hottest female champion in WWE in the past year easily. You have her headline it. Yeah. Again, Aaron, what's your take here?
I mean, first of all, I really have little to add because you guys pretty much nailed it. This guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. He says, Star Power is the main attraction. Tag me in. I mean, thank you for that, this guy Experience. I agree with you. At the end of the day, you have to think of the star power. That's a big factor. If The Rock is at WrestleMania and he's wrestling, he has to be in the main event. Why? Well, he's the biggest star for one thing. And number two, nothing can follow it. That's the attraction. The biggest attraction should be the main event, whether it's the best match on the show, whether there's women in the match, whether it's men in the match. It doesn't matter. You have to put the biggest attraction in the main event spot. And even if The Rock was not wrestling and you were considering putting a women's match in the main event spot, I would put Becky Lynch versus Rhea Ripley in that spot over Bayley and Io Sky. With all due respect to them, Rhea Ripley is the biggest star in the women's division right now, in my opinion, and Becky Lynch is right up there. Bayley has been losing a lot. It's been a good storyline, but Bayley has almost been like a mid-card act for the last several years. And Io Sky, even though she's the champion, she's not the person they're building the women's division around. She's the champion because people like her. She's a really good worker, and they wanted to give her the title, but she's not the big draw. She's not the big star of the brand. She's just somebody who's a really good wrestler, and they've had a compelling storyline with Damage Control, but that doesn't mean it should be the main event of WrestleMania. So that's pretty much all I have to say on that. We do have a super chat from 26.2 miles outside parts unknown. My favorite username says, which Reba McEntire national anthem was better, this year's Super Bowl or WrestleMania 8? Reba McEntire. I mean,
That's
WrestleMania
right. That's
8.
exactly what I was going to say. WrestleMania because of Bobby's reaction.
Bobby Heenan on commentary. Reba McEntire, Gorilla Monsoon. Will you stop? Like that.
Because Tito was coming out to face Shawn after that. And Tito Santana, Shawn Michaels, not Mr. Tito and some other Shawn. Let me be clear on my verbiage here because get on my ass about that. But yeah, so it's Reba McEntire. It's a sister, right? Well, you stop. Just Bobby was the best. Oh,
and then he starts whistling Shawn Michaels' theme song when he comes out there. I love it.
Did they put Sid versus Hogan as the main event as opposed to Ric Flair versus Macho Man?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because Hulk Hogan's the attraction, right?
I am binging my old, like my first started watching. I'm at February '92. Sid just had the press conference moment. I'm like, oh God, it's coming. Oh,
that's great. I love that.
Well, and Jeff, keep in mind that the original plan, they wanted to do Hogan and Flair for the title.
Yeah,
Hogan ain't gonna be moving his main event out. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is, the steroid thing was coming, and Vince he was the Heat Dodger till about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Tried to phase Hogan out, and Hogan, okay, brother, but I'm not going out. I'm not losing, brother. So the stupid DQ anyway.
Yeah,
we're getting around about that bullshit.
But bottom line, if you put Bayley and Io Sky after the Rock's match, you're doing a disservice to them. The crowd's going to be checked out, and they're going to be dead for the match.
And
if
Cody
anything,
most likely will be involved in that match. What? I can't believe this.
Yeah, the crowd with the Io and Bayley.
But for real though, ask Lita and Trish and Jazz and Jericho and Triple H about following the attraction match.
Yeah,
dead.
All right, we got
about Rock for sure.
We got a super chat here from Jerry, not Jerry Slaughter. Jerry Manley sent in a $2 super chat. Says Psycho Jet Black has sent in a $2 super chat.
Well, Psycho's not here apparently, so.
Nice.
Psycho's here when we start getting the Bart Gunn comments and that sort of thing. And Mike was thrown off the other week when Psycho Jet Black was asking all these random ass questions, and Mike was like, "What's going on here? What's the Psycho Jet Black guy all about?"
I've not been in front of the camera where I could talk about it since I went off on him. I do apologize for going off on him the other day on I think it was Talk Wrestling. It may have been my other show, but yeah, he put a comment and he actually made an apology for it. So I commend him for the apology. Just he may be a little shell shocked that I may
Psycho Jet Black. Where are you? I got the saxophone here, and you could super chat something, and maybe I'll take a shot at playing it for a second here. But Psycho Jet Black has to show up.
We got everybody used to Tuesdays the last couple weeks, and now we're back on Sundays, man.
Yes.
Anyways, we're caught up, Virtue.
Okay. I don't really have much to add other than just go back and listen to what we just said for the last 20 minutes and go read Tito's columns, and there's a reason why main events are chosen for by WWE, and it's not necessarily what the fans want. And you're getting what you want. Like, stop wanting every little thing. Just enjoy what they give you sometimes.
Seriously.
Take it and like it.
That's right.
Okay. Filler topic, AEW. So I wanted to kind of look and focus on the AEW World Championship lately. Obviously, MJF lost it to Samoa Joe, and right now the world title scene, you got Joe is the champion. And, Joe goes back to Ring of Honor, TNA, NXT, where, he was champions there, and he's a veteran, solid. Definitely don't have a problem with Joe. He's trying to elevate Hook, during this whole process, but we got a couple number one contenders right now. You got Swerve Strickland, kind of growing on me. We'll see. Not sure about his little ring guy that comes out with him there, but he's pretty intense. Hangman Page, he gets that elite EVP friend vibe, and I hate him, so I guess it works in terms of I don't want to see him win. Aren't you supposed to want to heel, not to win a championship? But that's your AEW world title scene right now, folks. While WWE's is red hot with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. And you could even say Seth Rollins versus the winner of the Elimination Chamber, which is star-studded, at least in terms for that workhorse title challenger. So, Mike, I'm going to start with you here. I know you're not the big AEW guy, right? So did you even know who Joe is, obviously. So he's your reigning champion.
Yep.
And the number one contenders are Swerve Strickland, formerly in WWE, and Hangman Crybaby Adam Page.
No, I actually watch. I don't always catch Rampage, but I do watch Collision and Dynamite as my XFL to the NFL. It gets me. It gets me from Raw to SmackDown.
There you go.
Watching it on recording. So, I think the title is obviously they're hurting without MJF there, but they're in good hands as long as they keep the strap on Joe or give it to Swerve. Hangman is horrible. And his real thick Magnum TA mustache, Tom Selleck mustache, however he's going, is horrible. His work stinks. His mic skills are even worse. And Swerve Strickland is supposed to be a heel, but the crowd actually, what little crowd there is at AEW events, loves Swerve Strickland. And Swerve can talk. He's got the look, and his in-ring stuff isn't bad. So they're in good shape if they keep it that way. If Hangman is the champ, because they're already giving the tag belts to the Young Bucks on Sting's last match. So that's already a joke. So they can't have two horribly placed belts. Well, I'm sure Tony can, but he shouldn't.
All right. Well, and that's the thing too, Hangman's been there since day one, and he's one of the guys. He's one of the buddies of that. So he's going to obviously he was the world champion already, right? He had a stint obviously with it. So there you go. Have at it again. And hopefully either Joe retains or Strickland wins it, but we will see. And look, I'm not going to disagree with you on everything there, Mike. As much as I don't like Hangman's character, knowing that he's friends with, I hate knowing all of that. I don't think his in-ring is as bad as you say. I actually, think he's decent in the ring, and the buckshot lariat, he does it. Him and Logan Paul are the best I've seen do it. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He doesn't botch often, as far as I can see. Like some other guys there, he doesn't hurt people as far as I can see. So I will, just so I can show that I'm not so anti-AEW in every aspect, I'm going to give Page the benefit of the doubt with his work.
That doesn't mean I have to like him.
No, but I just wanted to point. I wanted to point that out when you said that. I was just kind of disagreeing a little bit there.
Yeah,
but go ahead, Walter.
Yeah, I think this is just a safeguard so that Joe can stay looking strong. Page takes the fall, and Swerve doesn't have to look bad. That's the whole setup of this. They did it wrong. They just don't want Swerve to win the title yet because Joe is only 2 months into his reign. Not even that. I don't even think it's been 3 months. Is it less than 3 months?
Yeah, it's been less than 3
months.
months.
It's just
December 30th.
2.5. All right, there we go. 2 months. So they want Joe to have a little run for it, but I think eventually Swerve does get it. I think Swerve is the one that ended with Joe, but this was just set up so that Swerve doesn't have to take the fall, and Page will tap out to Samoa Joe or lose to the Muscle Bus or something like that. So, I mean, it is what it is, as we all like to say here, to steal something from Jeff. But we'll see what they got to do. They just got to make Joe defend it a little more and make it look better, because they screwed up with MJF because they focused more on his tag title run and his story with his buddy rather than the actual title. So now you got to go get the focus back on that title with Joe. But I mean, we'll see what happens after. But I think Swerve eventually gets it. This is just this is just set up so that they both still can look strong at the end of the match. So Joe and Swerve.
You know, Joe is comfortable as a champion. I mean, it's not the first time he's been a champion and he performs in front of less than 3,000 people as the champion of the company. Because he's, obviously TNA, they used to film in Orlando, NXT, smaller venues. So, like, some wrestlers get rattled with that. Joe's been pretty strong, I think. So I want to put him over too. Jeff, what do you think?
So a couple things. I'm gonna try to do debate before I actually think. So first of all, if Adam Page had the personality and attitude of Magnum TA, I'd be a lot more inclined to like Adam Page. But he's such a piece of shit human being, it's kind of hard. Is what it is. As far as the thing with Max not defending the title, you got to remember Max was beat up way more than people were led to believe during the second half of last year. He was beat to shit, which is why they shifted to the tag stuff and the focus on Adam Cole. As far as what they're doing with the main event picture, I think you guys are 100% right in there. They're kind of in a holding pattern. They're waiting for the Mania fever to die down, because AEW is not going to get the attention WWE's getting, especially with The Rock back on television. It's not going to happen. They are climbing up a hill, and the rocks are falling apart underneath them as they try to, make the ascent. It's just not going to happen until after April 6th. That's just the nature of or April 7th, whatever the hell Sunday is. It's just the nature of the way it is. I do think Hangman Page is in there because they don't want Joe to lose, and they don't want Swerve to lose. I think your main event for Double or Nothing is going to be Joe and Swerve one-on-one for the title, and I think that's when Swerve wins. Hangman Page is the perfect guy to take a fall. People forget or they gloss over, except for the real idiot marks like me. Hangman Page wanted to start all this bullshit with Punk in the first place by running his mouth. So anytime he gets beat up, I'm here for it. Every time.
Now, if he, and he's jobbed before. So I guess if he takes the fall and does the job, then that's another, not strike against him, but hey, okay, maybe you are maturing and whatnot. If we can put all that stuff we know from the personal stuff backstage, the rumors and innuendo that we hear,
well, right,
all the and just look at it from what we see on TV. But how soon before he starts getting involved, like the Bucks, they're playing that character on TV. They kind of had no choice. Are they going to pull some of their friends in on that too? I mean, hopefully Hangman Page won't get tied to them in that way, and maybe can keep moving on.
What? I disagree. I hope they do, because that way we can be justified in booing him. Because you got to remember, up until the whole program with Punk started, I actually was a fan. I liked his in-ring work, other than a botch here and there. I don't like that word either, but other than a slip up here and there, his in-ring work has been great. It's just his personality is atrocious because of the shit he stirred up. But if he keeps going down that path, and the finish at Revolution is schmozzy enough where he can be more pissy about it, put him with the Bucks. Let them do it. Let them go all in on the elite stuff again. I'm here for it.
Yeah, because they could always make him an EVP without making him an EVP. Just say he is on camera, or like an assistant to them. I don't know. Anyway, Aaron, anything you'd like to add? I saw some interesting super chats, so go for it.
Yeah, we got quite a few, and some negativity towards Adam Page. That's interesting. I mean, I like the guy. I think he's a good wrestler, but I know he's not everybody's cup of tea. I know some people are down on the elite. It is what it is, I guess.
He's a good wrestler. Doesn't make him a good person.
I don't know him personally.
And you would have thought that negativity would have radiated out of this cell, but it didn't. See, Aaron, what I did right there? I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like you told me to give the Bucks the benefit of the doubt. Remember? Let them try to be heels.
I like the mustache. I think it looks good on him. Anyways, Jeremy Dorset sent in a $3.52 super chat. Says, "Good evening, NoDQ Galaxy." How's it going, Jeremy? Much love to you. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And we got a live request from the Mr. Callum podcast sent in $8. Thank you for that. Says, hey, Aaron, am I able to join the preview for the Elimination Chamber? I'll be there in person and been a fan since WrestleMania 26. That's a long time, man. Thank you for your long time viewership. And I think we have a spot available. So email me, nodqmisc@gmail.com, and maybe we can get you on for it. By the way, I did get a question earlier. When will the predictions video be? It will be at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, 1 hour before NXT. Predictions then. And shout out to Mr. Tito. Check out his column. He said, can we cut this AEW stuff short and get back to WWE? Jeez, Tito.
Gotta be fair.
I mean, we got to talk about the mainstream wrestling product, and that includes AEW. I know some of you don't like AEW, but AEW has a fan base, and we got to talk about it. Tiger sent in a €2 super chat. Says AEW equals trash. Goofy wrestlers putting over WWE. I mean, I get entertained when they mention WWE wrestlers, but I know it's probably not the wisest thing to reference WWE all the time. You know, it definitely makes you come off second rate. But what did Tony Khan say about AEW, that they were called the Challenger brand or something, and that's part of the handbook on what to do? Like, you're supposed to punch up at the competition. I don't know what the deal is, but I guess there's a method behind the madness. Jeff?
I don't know. They're more challenged than challenger, but anyway, 17 hours ahead is Australia. So the show will be at 11 a.m. for the gentleman in Australia. So it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, if he works, then, whatever, but go for it.
Hemp Connell sent in a $2 super chat. Says, today in history, 2013, WWE retires the spinner belt. Oh, wow. It's already been 10 years since it disappeared. Do you miss that spinner belt, Jeff?
No, not at all.
I don't either.
Nor does John, honestly.
I was there live when Edge threw threw it in the water and then debuted his rated R one.
Just be glad you weren't in the water like Edge and got sick.
Yeah, I
know. Psycho Jet Black is here. He sent $2. He said, Jerry Manley has sent a $2 super chat. All right.
Well,
so
good.
Something's going on here between Jerry and Psycho. Are they one and the same? Who knows?
Man, JJ's comment that the Challenger cuts deep, because I watched the Challenger explode live on television, JJ. That's harsh. That's rough. But yeah.
So real quick about AEW and the main event scene. I think whatever happens at Revolution should depend on when MJF is coming back. If MJF is coming back soon, I would keep the title on Samoa Joe. If MJF's not coming back in the near future, then I would put it on Swerve Strickland and try to make something out of him as a top guy in AEW. I mean, Joe doesn't really need the title, but I do miss MJF, and I think the world title scene is needing some new star power, and maybe Okada and Will Ospreay coming into the mix, that can help things out. Maybe all the more reason to keep Joe as champion, since he's a heel and Swerve is moving in a babyface direction. So I feel like you might want to have Okada and Ospreay as faces. I know Ospreay's part of the Don Callis family, but people are going to cheer him. Maybe have Ospreay and Okada challenge Samoa Joe later this year, and then if MJF's ready to come back, bring in MJF, but definitely not Paige. I mean, I like Paige, but I don't think he should be in the title picture right now. I think you got to get some new blood in there for sure. And I appreciate the mustache, but you got to do more than just that. All right. Well, we got a super chat, which will not be acknowledged today. Thank you for the $1, though. And Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, Peter. Who's Peter? Peter Pan?
The Pumpkin Eater.
The Pumpkin Eater. Who's that?
Yeah. I don't know. Peter, the Pumpkin Eater. Come on now.
I have no idea what that is.
I am too old for this room, apparently. I don't know what happened there, but that's okay.
I know what you're talking about, Jeff. But this just
okay, well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Right.
Over my head. Now, I do know Careless Whisper. I do know the song. Jerry wants me to play it. Jerry, I'll tell you what. I don't want to lose all of our viewers by even attempting that right now. Like, I know the notes, but I don't think I could execute it very well. So I'll tell you what, at the end of the video in the no DQ overtime, I'll try it.
Wait a minute. We were going to have you play Careless Whisper during our 80s karaoke in June, man. We talked about this. Oh, you guys are killing me in the chat room today. Oh. Yeah.
Anyways, I got nothing else to say on AEW. I'm ready for the main event.
Main event time. And based on SmackDown, and we knew this was coming after the pivot, The Rock is officially a member of the Bloodline. So as I see this whole battle that's taken place since the Royal Rumble and Cody Rhodes won it, The Rock got on the board. You know, we expected him and Roman because of everything we heard, and they pushed for that. Cody was going to step aside. The fans revolted, and we got to where we are now. So what could have made all this better? Well, if you had Cody beat Roman like at SummerSlam last year to get the title off of him, this would have been perfect. The fans would not have turned on The Rock, and we'd be having that match now. It didn't happen that way. Here's what we got to realize, and there are casual fans that want this match, and I love how during the heel promo, The Rock said, like, you had it, you had me, versus Roman, and just like that, you took it away, blaming all the Cody crybabies. Just great heel work right there. I'm sitting here as I'm reflecting on this, and I wanted the match now because we never knew when The Rock was going to be available, if it would even happen, because was it going to happen? It didn't even happen in Hollywood. So Big G kept telling me it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So initially when they kind of made it look like it was going to happen and then they didn't, I'm like, man, damn it. I hate those wrestling marks. And I still call them those crybaby marks and whatever. And it's going to be fun watching The Rock destroy him. Wait till that song, The Rock concert happens and he sings a song about it. But I got to thinking, because now he's part of the Bloodline, everybody, we're going to see stuff build up there. And it could be obvious along the way. Aaron pointed out some interesting things, which I'm sure he'll talk about, where they could foreshadow him turning on Roman to kind of have the crowd not be so upset at him. And then they can properly build the match for the Battle of the Bloodline. He's a member of the Bloodline, people. We're going to see Rock do stuff like that through WrestleMania at least. And then we got a whole year to build probably to that match next year. And he won't be interfering in any of your main events because that will then be separate from all the titles, most likely. And again, we'll see, right? I could see them pissing fans off if Vince McMahon was still there, but it's a different era. I don't know why anybody should be upset here. Mike, I'm going to start with you because I want to hear what you have to say. I guess like Aaron always says, I'm letting it absorb, and each show that I see, I get more content, or each press conference or something that I see, each promo by Seth and Cody, I'm letting it sink in, and I'm like, hell, we're getting more content because this match isn't happening now. And you got people like Tito who says, yeah, they handled it poorly or whatever. Oh, businesses make wrong decisions on the fly all the time. Good businesses, great businesses fix them and still get their customer to play along. And I think that's what's happening right now. Mike, I got to hear what you have to say, though, because you said it's going to disagree with a lot of the panel member, and I don't know who you're talking about. So the floor is yours.
All right. So do you want to know what I think is going to happen or what I want to happen?
Both.
All right. What I think is going to happen is I think they continue to build it up, and then Cody is going to get the strap because Rock will turn and cost Roman a la, was it Solo or the Usos in 39 that cost Cody? Whoever it was. I'm old and I forget things.
Solo.
So Solo cost Cody. I think Rock is going to pull a Solo and cost Roman, and the strap goes on Cody, finishes his story, etc. Now, what I want to happen, because ever since he came on, except when he first started in the Nation of Domination and he was pretty weak, heel Rock is the best Rock. And I know a lot of people down on the Rock because, he has somebody write his stuff for him. But you know what? You still have to deliver. and The Rock delivers. Robert De Niro doesn't just come up the cuff with his script during a key movie. Robert De Niro just delivers it better than I could. I mean, I can read a script like Robert De Niro. I certainly can't act like Robert De Niro. So I don't care if anybody writes Rock's material. He delivers it, and he called them fat slobs, and they were cheering him. He was cutting a heel promo in Salt Lake City, ate it up, and they were being made fun of.
Because they're marks.
That's how good The Rock is at what he does. And what I want to see happen, I want Roman Reigns to keep the belt after WrestleMania 40. I don't know why. Oh, finish the story. The Buffalo Bills went to 4 straight Super Bowls. You don't think their story was to win one of them? No, they lost all 4. Yes, I know it's different. I get it. But the fact is, we don't always get what we want. Why does Cody Rhodes automatically get the belt? I don't want him to. I think he's going to get it.
Yeah.
But I don't care if they cheat him or screw him again. Maybe The Rock interferes on behalf of Roman and Cody loses again. But I want him to keep the belt. But I'll stick with my first thing, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think Rock turns and costs Roman.
And Mike, what you said, from what my gut and the obvious feeling is, it's going to happen that way, right? If they do have that match night 1 with the tag match, Bloodline goes over Seth and Cody to make Bloodline look strong and powerful going into night 2. Like Aaron talked about, you got the cheaters coming out to help the Bloodline like always, and then The Rock puts his hand up and says, no, that's when it all happens. That's most likely what's going to happen, and Cody wins the title. But what you want to happen, what I want to happen is the same thing. Aaron, you can point out loser. Is he pointing to Roman? Is he calling the fans losers? I want to see Roman retain. Vince Russo said this too. He's like, you gave the fans what they want. And he's like, man, you got to show who's in control here. And he's like, not in a Vince McMahon. And there were some other people that said this too, not Disco Inferno, but you have to show the fans that you're still the company that's in control, but you'll still give them what they want. The money is in the chase. So if you make Cody wait longer, the fans wait longer, they're still going to get behind, even though they say they won't and blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden you can erase Hogan's record, a modern day record, and it's a new company, no Vince McMahon. Why not erase the Hogan? Who is it right now? Bruno, that'll never be touched, right, Jeff? And then who's next? Bob Backlin? Who's number 2? I can't remember. Who?
Bruno, Backlund, Hogan. But yeah, I know you're going because there was I think it was either Russo or somebody else made this point.
I mean, it's not going to happen. I mean, most likely it won't happen, but I could see why it could happen.
Well, but I don't remember if it was Russo or if it was Conrad. Who gives a shit about passing number 3? Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, because it's Hogan, it's a bigger deal? No, nobody's gonna give up. Okay, NoDQ. Sorry, nobody's gonna give a crap if he passed Hogan. So freaking what?
Hogan's considered more of the modern day because it was the WWF, and I'm telling you, TKO wants to scrub a lot of that. Not scrub the history, but have their guy. I could see there's a case for that, Jeff. There's absolutely you don't get this far and have a chance to do something. Even though it's only the number 3 spot, just so everybody knows, Roman Reigns' next win is 1,000 based on that Tony Khan site that he loves, Cage Match or whatever. And that's more T-shirts. There's more. Yeah. There's just more things there. Jeff, but the reason why that could be still a good idea, because then it reserves Cody's story to finish in the Garden if they could make that happen.
Well, right, because
that's what you clamored for all of this time. So again, this is just like what Mike and I want, but we're being smart about it, and they probably won't go that direction. But I could see if they did, I could justify why. Now, Jeff, I'll pass it on to you next. Let's keep in mind, Shawn Michaels lost The Undertaker twice in a row at WrestleMania. The Rock, it wasn't twice in a row because WrestleMania 2000, but he lost to Austin twice before he finally beat him before Austin's retirement. It happens. Cody can still lose again to Roman and still finish his story. I'm just saying. But go ahead. The floor is yours on this.
Yeah. I loved the promo The Rock cut in Seattle where he talked about, remember, it's Act 3. It's like, no, Rock, Houston was the biggest WrestleMania of all time for a long time. And everybody remembers 17 more than 19. But good promo. So, good pass. But as far as now, I really just love that the entire fandom seems to just be convinced that everything was a pivot, everything was that. I've said it almost from the beginning, and I've definitely owned my own complicity in this. Why can't we just sit back and enjoy it, man? Like I love the fact that we don't know what's going to happen now. We were so convinced. I was convinced to the point that I did the thing that JBL always said don't do. Don't bet against Big Match John. Don't bet against Roman. I was damn sure Randy Orton was going to win at the Royal Rumble. And it was going to be Randy and Cody as the story finish. I picked it. I said it on the air. I said it throughout the watch along. And I was wrong because you don't pick against Roman Reigns. You just don't do that. So, okay, well, then Cody won the Rumble. So, and then he went on SmackDown. Rock didn't say a freaking word. Cody deferred, and everybody lost their damn minds. The crowd popped in the moment in wherever the hell they were out, Abilene or wherever they were. And then within a week, another pivot. Like, had they not pivoted, we'd be getting Rock and Roman, which I don't think is a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad thing that they went that way. And now we've got not Hollywood Rock, for the record. If he does a rock concert, then we get Hollywood Rock too. It's great. We're getting corporate turned Rock, where he's wearing these $500, although it's like $914 now with inflation, shirts out there and just being this asshole. And I love to see it. So I'm okay with whatever storyline plays out. What I want to see, of course, is Cody become the champion, but I have a bias. What I think is going to happen is they are going to continue, and we'll have WrestleMania predictions, whatever week that is, the last week of March or whatever, first week of April. Right now, I'm of the mindset that that Roman will retain still, even now, because I don't personally care about him passing Hogan because that's till September, and the title reign itself has become stale. But I was going to make the point earlier: the reign itself is stale, but the story has been reinvigorated thanks to The Rock. And that's what's important in professional wrestling, sports entertainment, is the story. You can go out there and have a Meltzer popping match all you freaking want, folks. But if the story's not there, it means jack shit. Completely jack shit. And this story wants me so bad to find a way to get tickets and fly to Philadelphia now. Where I was like, whatever, I don't go. Now I really want to go.
And the thing is, Jeff, like, everybody expects, like, if it was Rock versus Roman for the title, everyone expects that Roman would retain.
Sure.
Now that it's Cody versus Roman again, it's the expectation is to Cody to finish the story. So there's always an expectation. Like, the fans always have that it's going to happen this way. And It would just be very interesting if WWE actually did have Roman retain it. And we all know you want Hogan to stay in number 3 though, because you and Hogan, man, you go way back, so we get it.
Okay,
we get it.
But personal bias aside, it's like
modern day.
Yeah, personal bias aside, notwithstanding, the story's okay now. Where, like, when I was saying, God, Roman champion till September. Oh Jesus! If the story works, I can go on air and make a retraction because I'm intrigued. But the story right now, as much people are like, oh, it's Cody, man, it doesn't matter. They could have Otis win the Royal Rumble and fricking go in there and be challenging Roman Reigns. Yeah. The Rock's there, so nobody cares right now. It's just about, ooh, the Rock's back, the Rock's back. It's just the Rock and Roman are focusing on Cody. I was so mad about Rock and Roman saying Dusty was irrelevant, but they're not wrong in saying that Cody and the verbiage, the dialogue of the story was becoming irrelevant as the storyline in the title reign. Now everybody's intriguing again.
Well, just so you know, if Dusty was booking Rock and Roman back in the day, he would have said, "Tell him I'm irrelevant, baby," because they're heels.
No, you're right.
Rock was going to be a heel, but all right. Are you good?
Right.
Before I pass it on to Walter,
I'm good. Yes, please. I'm sorry.
Walter, crack your neck and go.
Yeah, we got the Versace shirt wearing, sunglass bag Rock, and I'm loving this. But what I want to happen is I do want Cody to win the title, but I don't want The Rock to turn on him, on Roman and cause that. I just want him to lose, and then what happens is that Roman starts getting paranoid that The Rock is taking over the bloodline, is becoming the head of the table, and The Rock's like, yo, what the hell's the matter with you? We're on the same page. And then you build it months and months, and it's actually Roman that causes the problem, to whether it forces The Rock to be like, all right, we're going to have to go one-on-one over this head of the table thing because you keep starting trouble, and I'm here with you all the time, and your paranoia after losing your title is what the hell's the matter with you. And it's Roman's own paranoia, because now he's no longer the invincible Roman Reigns anymore. He doesn't have that title as a crutch anymore. And then that's what leads to The Rock versus Roman, but you got to tell this over a year. You got to wait till WrestleMania 41. You got to let that build. So then it just shows that there might be a split in the bloodline, but it's really in Roman's head. It's like Roman that causes it accidentally because he's vulnerable and lost the title, and it's his own paranoia, and he's driving himself crazy slowly. But The Rock is there trying to be up by his side, but Roman doesn't let him. That's what I want to happen. What I think will happen, I think Cody wins regardless, but if Rock will help him, and then they end up fighting. But I just really want it to be the way I said it, with that paranoia thing. Yeah, Aaron?
I was just doing the Rock's little symbol there.
So here's the one thing that I have that's keeping me interested in how this is going to happen. Right now, on screen, since the press conference, Roman looks second fiddle to The Rock. The Rock is the bigger worldwide star. So that's that's okay for a start. At some point, though, remember, like I keep saying, Roman has to step up and be like, wait a minute here. And I looked at one of his promos. I think it was going into WrestleMania 38 with Brock Lesnar at the end of that title match signing, contract signing. Roman kind of went off. He stood up, grabbed the mic. He said, everything, Michael Cole, the announcers are mine, the desk's mine. We definitely need that Roman again at some point. Like, he can't just keep standing like in the promo on SmackDown. Rock was in the center of the ring, and then you had Bloodline standing off left of center. If that's all by design now, I'm fine with that. But at some point, like I've been saying, Roman needs to go off. And if he doesn't do that, I will call this. I will agree with Tito. Rock came in, overstepped his bounds, and just ruined a great heel character in Roman. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And I think Roman and Heyman is smart enough to let Rock grab that spotlight. And then when it's time, Roman's going to go postal. And he's done it several times. There's been times he's kicked everyone's ass at ringside way back in the day. There's times where he's taking the promo and it's passionate, and he'll yell at the fans, he'll yell at his opponent. And that's what we need. So go ahead, Aaron. The floor is yours, and the super chats from the NoDQ Galaxy.
You got to come to me earlier on some of these topics when the super chats come pouring in, because now we're way backed up. But let's go ahead and get to them now. Psycho Jet Black sent in $10. We got a lot of filler here before we get my thoughts. That's what interrupts the flow of this. But anyway, Psycho Jet Black says, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? I cannot believe I said that all.
In the Philly cheesesteaks at WrestleMania.
There you go. So go over to Philadelphia for WrestleMania and get yourself a Philly cheesesteak. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat, says, I want Robert De Niro versus Mike Peters in a death match. Why Robert De Niro versus Mike Peters?
Because I mentioned Robert De Niro. I said I could read a script like Robert De Niro, but I couldn't deliver it like Robert De Niro.
And
I think
with their ages, to the death won't be long.
I think I can take him in a death match, though.
I don't know. If he's half as tough as he is in the movies, you might be in trouble. This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. He says, The Rock beat Trish Stratus at returning legend turned heel. What? I'm confused.
Again, to be fair, when Trish came back, the writing they gave her when she turned heel was atrocious, and she didn't want to execute it and be a heel. That's the difference. She didn't want to be a bad guy. Rock loves this shit, man.
Yeah, I think he's saying that he's better at it than Trish was. A legend.
Okay, I was just confused.
Yes. it was just typed out funky because of the limited characters. I'm sure if you spent more money in the super chat, maybe it would be better. Maybe that's just me. I'm being an asshole. What do I know? Trish's heel turn was so poorly executed because Trish didn't want to be bad. Rock loves this, man. So anyway, I know I'm an asshole for that comment. Sorry.
It's all good.
I'm in a fighty mood.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, Mike, can you crush a basketball like the great Khali?
No, my hands aren't big enough.
Yeah, I mean, a few men could do something like that. The great Khali is probably the only guy. But, as Batista said, basketballs don't hold grudges. So remember that.
That's right.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. He says, who should be the face and heel for the Roman Rock match at WrestleMania 41? Virtue, what would be your pick there? Like, who should be the heel and who should be the face for WrestleMania 41?
Probably Roman's still the heel, and Rock the face. So if they do this like I think they're going to do it, The Rock can get back on the people's good graces if he stops the Bloodline from interfering, which helps Cody win. And then Roman could do that step up like, whoa, Rock, this is my thing. You never were that good. You didn't even stay in the business that long. You had to go to Hollywood where they, you know what I mean? Like, that's to me the money match, a good heel Roman versus a babyface Rock, which is what I think they wanted to do this year, but the fans revolted. So.
And I think that makes sense. The Rock is going to be cheered regardless. I mean, Roman gets cheered a lot too. So you could try to do something and experiment with it. But I think The Rock will likely be a babyface. What I think is going to happen, as I mentioned, he did this on SmackDown. And when he was saying Cody Rhodes is going to leave WrestleMania as a loser, one thing you might not have catch, you would have to see the arena clip of it where he pointed over at Roman Reigns when he was saying that you're going to leave WrestleMania as a loser. I think that was the little subtle tease of what's going to happen. I think they're doing a WrestleMania 13 or not 13, WrestleMania 14 reenactment where Mike Tyson joined DX, but then it was a double cross. I think it's going to be the same thing here where The Rock is going to double cross Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and Cody will win the title. Fans will get the story finished and then they'll start building. They got a full year for WrestleMania. Rock can do his cardio. He can train and be prepared for it. And they'll do that match. They'll settle, they'll score at WrestleMania 41. Virtue?
They got to be very clever with that, though, because my worry is they can't make Roman and Paul Heyman together look dumb. Like, you know what I mean? Like, wow, we let The Rock swerve us. They can't. They got it. I don't know how they have to play it off, but I do not want to see that. I do not want to see dumb heels letting someone come in and fool them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they come up with. And if there's even more twists and turns, we still got a lot of time until WrestleMania. We still have a good 5 or 6 weeks until the show. So there could be more swerves, more twists in this story as we get to WrestleMania. And who knows if they're even doing the tag match at this point? Who knows? I mean, everything can change, as we've seen. Like, we think it's going one way, and then the next week something happens and it may go in a completely different direction. Now, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, Walter, you should sell Know Your Roles and Smoke shirt. What do you think about that?
That's a beautiful idea. That's not a bad idea at all.
There you go. You could put that up on your Cal Fire Farm page.
Know your role and smoke your bowl.
There you go. Dwayne Atkinson sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Dwayne says, could The Rock become the ref for Cody and Roman Reigns? I don't think he's going to be refereeing at this point. I think he's either going to wrestle or he's just going to show up in the main event and do a run. And although if they really wanted to copy WrestleMania 14, they could have him be the special enforcer for the match. But I think that would be too blatantly obvious where they're going with it. So yeah. I don't think he's going to be the referee because I think that then they would just be copying WrestleMania 14 too much. I think they do need to try to give us a few more twists and turns and not just completely rip off that storyline. So we'll see what they do in the next coming weeks leading into WrestleMania. And Hamp had an interesting question here. He sent in a $5 super chat. He says, if Cody wins, is he going to SmackDown or is he taking the belt to Monday Night Raw. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I cut out there for a second. I wasn't sure. So is Cody going to SmackDown or is he taking the belt to Raw? He says maybe they can switch the belts and elevate the World Heavyweight Championship. I would think that Cody would be on SmackDown by default, but we do have the draft coming up, and my guess is Cody will end up on SmackDown, and Roman Reigns will probably end up on Monday Night Raw with the Netflix deal. You know, they want to make sure people are watching on Netflix, although that doesn't go into effect right away. So theoretically, Roman Reigns could still be on SmackDown for a while, and then they could switch him over when the Netflix deal starts in January. I mean, they might keep Rock on, or not Rock, they might keep Reigns on SmackDown for the time being so we can get his rematch with Cody at SummerSlam, which is something I mentioned on the review last week or 2 weeks ago. I mentioned that, you know, they could do the rubber match at SummerSlam between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Now, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, I want Virtue to wear a Cody Crybaby t-shirt. Did you order one yet?
Mm-mm. I didn't.
Did they make one yet?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, they got to get that made. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Like that's gonna be a hot seller right there if they put that shirt out. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Says, will The Rock raise Cody's hand like the Rumble in 2015? I could see that happening for sure. I could see them having The Rock endorse Cody Rhodes, same way John Cena did and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. You know, they're really trying to make Cody the guy. And I know some people are wondering, where does Cody go from here? Mr. Tito sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you, Tito. He says, when Cody wins the WWE title, the story of leaving AEW and achieving what Dusty couldn't goes away. Poof. I mean, the story has to end at some point. If not at WrestleMania, when? I know people are saying Madison Square Garden, but I don't know. I think this is it. It has to be WrestleMania. I mean, Roman Reigns has had such a significant title reign. I feel like anywhere other than WrestleMania almost feels like anticlimactic. I think it has to be at the biggest stage. If it's Rock versus Reigns at 41, it's not going to happen then. Rock shouldn't be beating Reigns. So I think this has to be the time. Even if it's predictable, even if you're like, well, now what with Cody? I think this has to be it. This is the time to do it. It's just a matter of, I think, booking it in a way that, you know, we're not 100% sure where it's going, and you throw in some twists and turns heading into WrestleMania. Anybody else have a comment on any of this with the storyline? Or we do have a super chat here from Psycho Jet Black. He says, what is the best and worst Robert De Niro movie?
Is there really a bad De Niro movie? I guess Heat would be his
they
bad.
all do bad movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say
The Irishman is his worst one, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
What was the movie? Is that the one where they
Goodfellas
use
is
the?
good.
Yeah, I mean, Goodfellas would be my pick probably. But is Irishman the movie where they like de-aged them?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like 4 or 5 hours long too. Should have
Yeah,
been
that movie was.
miniseries. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably agree with you, but I haven't seen every single one of his movies.
His best movie is Cape Fear, the remake of the 50s.
That's a good one.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, that is a good one.
Pizza Good One, Raging Bull.
I know this isn't a movie pod or movie review, but it was a super chat question, so I felt I had to answer it.
My favorite character of all of his, even over the mob characters, Meet the Parents, the first movie.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too.
The first and the second movie were his character was fun.
All right, so we're caught up, and then after you guys do your plugs,
there was a super chat. I swear there was a super chat about something Reigns shouldn't turn heel.
If there was one, I missed it.
By some Jesse or something. I swear I saw it.
Reigns.
Let me see.
Turn heel.
Yeah, she said she doesn't want Reigns to turn babyface. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, she doesn't want Reigns to turn babyface. I swear there was one in there, but
yeah, I'm not seeing it. So
yeah, if you don't see it, I swear it was in there though. All right, let's go around and do our plugs now. Go ahead, Mike. Anything you want to say in closing?
Mike.
thanks for having me again, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. And I talk a little wrestling and then a lot of other stuff on Flights Football and Anything Else, which we record on Thursday nights. It's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, usually by 10 p.m. Thursday night. And thanks again for having me. Have a lot of fun.
Good to have you on. All right, Walter.
Thanks as always for having me on. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Walter Alex Cruz, the Cowfire Farms, the Instagram, and at Rage of Wrestling is the YouTube channel. More content coming, so just please subscribe. And I'm working on more videos and more materials with Jeff and others, so you'll see more stuff coming out. So thanks again for having me on here.
All right, good to have you on as always, Mr. Reliable. Jeff Meacham.
All right, really quick. I'll try to go through this because I know I've got to get a multiple graphic plug as I always do. Wednesday, Dad's Always Wrestling will have our top 10 TV couples rankings as our non-wrestling top February. This weekend, Friday and Saturday morning, not at live time 2 a.m. Pacific, but 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Friday, we'll have our coverage of TNA No Surrender, and Saturday, our coverage of Elimination Chamber. And then Wednesday night, after we do our dad's episode, I'll be out in Los Angeles with my buddies Jesse Fury and The Sound as they perform at the Mint. The QR code is for a link for tickets. Doors are at 6, shows at 7. See y'all Wednesday if you can. It's going to be a fun show on Wednesday night.
Good to have you on, Jeff. And by the way, when I said Mr. Reliable, I was talking to Walter, even though I went right to you, but you know.
No, you're good. No, I am far from reliable when it comes to most things, but Walter has been on both channels consistently when we ask him. We love Walter. So there you go.
Yep. Okay, Aaron. As Aaron froze.
Aaron is broken.
So, I don't know how I can't turn the stream off. I can close the show, but he's got to be the one that turns the stream off.
Yeah, we can. Okay.
He's coming back on.
There
All
you
right,
go.
Aaron, you back?
Well, we have rain here, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Well,
but
it's on you
it's
now.
the rain, brother. Yeah, that's what it is.
Final plugs for you, Aaron.
Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2. Says Mike. He likes Mike. We like Mike too. Mr. Tito sent in $2. He says play some Skynyrd. I don't know any Leonard Skynyrd songs, and as it is, this saxophone is like broken. This is a 30-year-old saxophone, and I haven't played it in 25 years. So, Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. He says, sax. I could play this. You know what that is?
New Day Rocks.
New Day Rocks.
There you go. You knew it. I could play New Day Rocks. And then what's that song? Careless Whisper?
Yes. Oh, humanity.
Well, I tried. There you go. There's Careless Whisper. All right, just stay tuned to NoDQ.com. It's a work in progress. I am going to try to play Cult of Personality, but I need to fix this thing up. It's in rough shape. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, and looking forward to the next.
You can actually practice at home.
Yeah, really, for real. I'm in California. Got the saxophone, but it's not in very good shape, and I have no idea how to play.
You haven't played it in a decade or more, so yeah.
No, 25 years. Oh, by the way, 26.2 miles outside Parts Unknown sent in a $2 Super Chaz says, thank you, Verge, for not shouting. Well, we didn't get Virtue Mode this week. That's too bad.
I got a headache. I had a half a bottle of Fireball whiskey last night. So,
oh.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. So what's your plug, Virtue?
Well, go to NoDQ.com/merch and get all the NoDQ shirts, all the Virtue shirts, the NoDQ review and moderator shirt. Also, go to X.com and follow me if you dare at NoDQ_Virtue. Look at the faces of those two legends. And at some point, we're going to get them. But in the meantime, they're going to team up. They're going to team up, and they're coming after the Cody and the Cody Crybabies. NoDQ Galaxy for Jeff, Aaron, Michael, Walter, and the whole NoDQ crew and Galaxy. I am Virtue. Good night, everybody. We will see you again next time.
Tip.
Okay, bye.